The date is August 1st, 2022. Otmar Safnauer is going about his day until he is given some bad news via a press release that reads, Fernando Alonso to join the Aston Martin Formula One team in 2023. Otmar is sad but ultimately realizes this is a good opportunity for his talented 2021 F2 champion Oscar Piastri to get a seat in the main team. All he has to do is announce that. Wait, Oscar, what the hell are you doing?
Alpine was a new name in 2021, bringing F1 drivers Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon back into the spotlight. Alpine finished the 2021 season in 5th place in the constructors' standings, with their first race win secured by Ocon at the Hungarian Grand Prix. 2022 will be a formative season for Alpine as they return with the tried and trusted driver pairing of Alonso and Ocon. In a few years' time, with the right leadership, they could well become championship contenders.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Alpine F1 Manager 22 career mode. We are going to focus on bringing Alpine to the top. I chose them because they're a constructor. They build their own engine. I say constructor, I should say an OEM for engines. But yeah, with that kind of development on the engine side and all the other factors of kind of the absolute craziness that is their second driver's seat at the moment for next year, I thought it would be fun to sign Alpine because we are not going to retain Alonso into next year. Man, look at him, look at me, like all disappointed after I said that. Yeah, we're not going to retain him. We're going to keep Ocon, and we're not going to retain Oscar Piastri. We're going to have to find a brand new second seat driver to pair Ocon into next season, and we're also going to have to find a new reserve driver, which we might sign during this season. Alright, so I join you from the home screen. We see that our objective for this season set by the board is 4th and above. We have Alonso and Ocon, as mentioned before. I'm just going to try to do a quick little run through of all the different tabs. I know there's going to be a lot of people posting F1 Manager 22 videos, and it might be a little much to kind of have that for every single career mode that you watch to have this first episode be so long. We're going to go through, we're going to show the practice session and stuff. We're going to do some other kind of career mode things that we need to do, but I'm going to try to cut this down as much as possible, but still maintain a large portion of kind of the new stuff for the people that, may only be watching, may have just watched this for the first time and have no idea how this game's going to work. Alright, so from the Cars tab, this is where we're going to be developing parts for our car, and we are going to even be manufacturing parts that we have developed to kind of fit onto both cars to make sure we have extra copies. And when I mean extra copies, we have multiple of every single part at the moment. We have an extra suspension, I believe, which is part of the tutorial, which I have disabled for this career mode. We're actually going to install this as an example, and we're going to manufacture 3 of this part. The Bahrain Grand Prix is in 11 days, so we will get one of these ready for the first Grand Prix, but we're going to have the other 2 done a little bit after that, but we're going to have backups ready because we can damage, and I believe we can also destroy parts if we have a major accident. So back on the main screen, I'm going to go to Car Parts Development. We're going to go to New Project, and we're going to Design. We're going to press E to see where we rank compared to other teams. With kind of different areas of performance. So we have the low speed that needs to be helped. We have the top speed with the DRS that needs to be helped. And I think those are the 2 things that we're going to focus on first, as well as potentially even working on that top speed and acceleration. We're going to look through here, and we're going to see all these areas that are going to have blue. So we're going to look for one that kind of hits 2 of the areas that we were just previously talking about, and I think one of those is going to be the underfloor. So we're going to go build the underfloor, and we have a limit of how many MAU hours, which I have no idea. Oh, it's Mega Allocation Unit Hours, which is distributed by the points standings. The top teams get less hours than the bottom teams, so the bottom teams have some time to catch up with their development. So we are going to crank this up. We're just gonna crank this up all the way, and just show kind of all the areas that it's gonna help. So we do the 5.4 hours. It's gonna help all those areas there, but we're gonna try to focus on some of the areas, but maybe not all of the areas that we were going to ask for, because we only have a limited amount of hours to use in a 56-day period, and we're going to be able to develop other car parts immediately after this. So I do think we are going to, kind of splurge a little bit with the CFD hours on the underfloor, and then we're going to crank this up to see what else we can kind of maybe gain. So we're going to go 18 hours here. Focus on getting both of these here. So we kind of went a little bit hard with this first part with our hour allocations. We're going to continue with this floor. We can also focus on certain areas of the car. So you were complaining about the low speed. We're going to turn the low speed up, and it's going to actually hurt other parts of the car. And then if I actually want to, I can turn this up all the way, and you notice how it's changing the attributes in the middle of the screen there. You can see those areas where it's starting to hurt, or where it's starting to improve. I think we're going to turn it up to just that one point. We're going to potentially also look here to see if we can kind of cheese the system here. And yeah, we're actually able to balance this out here to where we're going to be first, third, and third in all these areas with the focus kind of turn. Because if you keep turning these up, it's going to also hurt other areas. So that's what we're going to develop for our underfloor. We're going to just assign engineers. So you can see here, we have 3 different types of approaches. We have normal, we have rushed, and we have intense. Intense does not mean faster. Intense means that we are going to gain a greater car part expertise bonus, which will improve future designs of this car. So we could do intense to kind of have this amazing underfloor, and then we're going to be amazing at building other underfloors. But I think we're just going to focus on try to just rush it a little bit so we can get this earlier. You can see 87 days or 86 days versus 57 days. And then you can add on engineers to kind of get that total amount of days down. With kind of how many engineers we have at the moment, we're only going to build 1 with 5, and that'll be done in 41 days. Alright, since we worked on that underbody, we're going to, or underfloor, we're going to also try to find another part, potentially, that could help cars here. I think we're going to make a rear wing, actually, because that'll help with our DRS and our top speed. So we are going to try to only do a little bit of hours on this since we used so much on the first one. So we're going to do... No, we're going to just do 0.3 on this, and we're going to look for a little bit more here. So we're going to do 13 hours, so we're going to use up more of the wind tunnel hours, but we're going to kind of... actually, we'll turn up the CFD hours a little bit. We'll just go to 0.5. We're going to do 13 hours in the wind tunnel, and then we're going to focus or move on to our design focus. We need that low speed to go up, so we're going to turn the low speed up until it says that. I'm just going to crank this up here to kind of prove a point, so we can keep moving these up, but it's going to hurt some areas of the car. But it doesn't look like it's going to hurt it too much. So we're going to... That's interesting. I wasn't expecting it to kind of help all of these parts like that. Oh, okay. So we have to. It'll increase design time and cost. Okay, that makes sense. So we're gonna go for balanced, but we're going to the turn up this until it says third. Turn this up until it says fifth. Turn this up until it says fifth. Turn this up until it says fifth, and that's gonna be our new rear wing here. So I was completely wrong on my last statement. This is all attributing to how this design is going to work out. So we're just going to go for a straight fifth place here. So with engineers, so we're going to use 5. We're going to do rushed, and then we're going to build this, and it'll be done in 27 days. Okay, so from your driver's screen, I'm just going to go through really quickly and show. Well, you can show the career too of these drivers in the last 4 years, which is cool to see. Career statistics for Fernando Alonso: 2 championships, 32 wins, 98 podiums. That's cool to see. I didn't know he had that many podiums. So potentially this year we could see him maybe tick over that 100 mark. Contract-wise, he's $5 million a year. If he finishes 6th or above, he's going to get $510,000, and it's going to cost $2 million to break him out of his contract. Ocon, he's got a 3-year contract, $4.2 million salary, $420,000 if he finishes 6th or above, $6 million to break him out of his contract, but we're going to keep him because we like the tall man. Oscar Piastri, someone we're actually going to look at breaking out of his contract. He has 1 year, $420,000 salary, no race bonus, and it's going to be $172,000 to break. And speaking of replacements, I have 5 people here that I am going to scout for the sake of just for the sake of this. I'm gonna do a detailed scouting on Pourchaire since he's French, and this French team loves its French drivers. He's not in the academy, I don't believe. I think he's part of the Ferrari Driver Academy. We're gonna also look at Jack Duhan, who's part of the academy, but we're gonna do a standard scouting on him, and then we are also going to do let's do a scouting on Logan Sargent, because I'm an American boy. Give me the American F1 driver. Alright, so we have to wait for the scouts to come back. But yeah, we'll probably make a decision on a new reserve driver at some point, because there is a benefit to running these drivers in FP1. And I think you can do it fairly healthily without kind of screwing over a particular driver in your team, especially for flip-flopping the car that reserve driver is jumping into race to race. Right, so from the staff screen, we have our technical chief, Matt Harmon. We have our head of aerodynamics, Dirk De Beer. We have a race engineer, Carol Luce. We have our other race engineer, the one for Ocon, Josh Peckett. We have our engineering team here, which is tied to our design center. We can increase it by upgrading our design center more, but we are on level 2, and we're going to probably have to upgrade it to like level 4 to get that even to go up. We have a scout capacity of 3, which is tied to our building that we've already maxed out. We've also already maxed out the engineering team, so we're being very resource intensive. Pit crew. This is a cool thing. You can focus on certain areas of your pit crew that you think needs to be improved, and I think we're gonna do some tire change focus, because that's really, really, really important for your team. You got your front and your rear jack, but you really need to focus on your getting your freaking 4 corners off of your car and back on. So, looking at the stats of these guys, they look pretty low, but actually, if you look here, you go to his contract, you go scout for replacement. And you actually look at some of the higher ups. The highest rated technical chief is 83. So our guy being 79 is not too far off. Our head of aerodynamics, Diego Tondi for Ferrari, is 90. So Dirk De Beer is a little bit off, but we might retain him for next year, because we don't know what we don't know yet. We have the race engineer for Alonso. Just gonna go look for a replacement, but you have Pete Bonington, at 93, and then you have Scone at 90. So we have some high ups for engineers that we could get, but that drop off is pretty significant to 85, and we're rocking 77 and 75. So I think the race engineer maybe is something that we could look at for next year, but I don't really think we're gonna come in and kind of be a home wrecker with all these different people in different positions outside of the reserve driver. All right, so from the facilities, we're just going to show you some of the stuff here. We're probably going to also upgrade some stuff because I haven't gotten far enough in another career mode. I did a kind of a quick playthrough super early in the morning to kind of get used to this stuff, so I didn't have to play with the tutorial. We are for factory, which um, correlates to kind of how many projects we can have going on at once and the speed at which we can do it. You have the design center, which is the engineer capacity. If we improve it, we can get one more project capacity, but I mean, I don't have experience, but I liked using 5 on each of the projects. So with the 11 million price tag on doing that, that's not worth it. It's 12 million to upgrade the wind tunnel. You can see all the different areas where it's going to improve your performance, which is really cool to see. I mean, all these like little technical areas that you can focus on where you have the pros and cons of improving stuff. You have your CFD simulator, which is subject to usage with the hour restrictions, which is a really cool balance for F1 going into the future, especially with some of the low back teams kind of being able to use the wind tunnels more based on their position in the driver's standings. The CFD simulator is going to be 10 million upgrade. We're not going to do any of these, I don't believe. I'm just going to go through here and try to show. You have your suspension simulator, helps with your brake cooling. And then you also have your car part test center, which helps your engine cooling and your brake cooling. We're going to go look at the staff facilities, the team hub, which helps morale and your weekly experience gain for your staff. We have not built. It's $800,000. We're going to build it. Our scouting department, we have a scout capacity of 3. It's 2 million to upgrade. Like I said, I don't know what I don't know. I'm going to upgrade it because more scouts seems like a good idea to me, because we can use that to also scout staff as well outside of drivers. Weekly experience gain for the drivers. How much is this to upgrade? It's 1.9. We got 32. Let's do it. Also, we have a cost cap we need to worry about, which I'm not worrying about at the moment. Alright, so the race simulator helps with the experience gain. If we're going to bring in a young driver, which based on the people that we are looking at, we are going to focus on doing that race simulator. That extra 20% is going to mean a lot. Looking at our operations facility, holy hell, Alpine, what are you doing? We don't have a boardroom, which helps with your confidence gain, and then team attractiveness as well. It's a low price. It's $400,000. Everyone's got $400,000 laying around, so we're going to build that. You got your helipad, which helps with your sponsor race or sponsor target payouts, which we're going to take. That's $240,000, and that'll be built pretty soon. Our tour center, that means we're going to gain $13,000 a week, and then we're going to lose $10,000 a month, which seems pretty good. Free money is great. Or we're investing to make more money in the future. So we're going to build that as well. Looking at the memorabilia room, that's going to gain 7 on the team attractiveness and the morale of the staff and drivers. We're going to send it. We're going to buy it. Looking at the weather center, it's 1.5 million to upgrade, and it's going to increase your forecast accuracy by 60%. That's 1.5. So it's not something I'm going to particularly worry about. One of the things that is not to worry about at the moment, but will be in the future, is the condition of the building. That's something that we're going to have to come back and look at, because you're going to have to refurbish all these buildings at some point, and those all cost money. This costs $400,000 to refurbish, and it starts to hurt your facility effects and what they're able to do. So a hospitality area, that's just your team attractiveness. That's $1.8 million. I think we're going to hold off on that since we spent all the money we did just spend. But that is your facility rundown. We have decided to do, looks like 7 upgrades moving forward. So yeah, that's money potentially well spent. All right, so this is the board. This is a fairly boring tab, but there's some cool things in here that I like from the management side. You have your board budget, which shows you kind of what the season budget is and how much you're going to get per month. So we're going to get 5 million per month. We have an initial payment of 7.5, and our season objective is 4th, as I said before. Um, there's the team rating system, which is pretty interesting because it's really taken just the last 4 years of the teams for these two stats, and then also is going to apply a heritage bonus to the teams. So we get a heritage bonus of 23. We get a driver's result bonus of 16, and we get a constructor's result bonus of 561. Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting thing to watch throughout the career mode, especially if we have a top team kind of fall off a little bit. I don't see that happening, especially with kind of how long these seasons are and how hard it's going to be able to do that many races. But hopefully we'd be able to kind of see those changes throughout the year. But if you look at the team rating tiers, we are tier 2 out of 5, so we are 150 points away from being able to be considered a leader, which would be cool. Another thing I forgot to mention is the rules and regulations tab, where it kind of shows you all the changes. We don't have any changes here to show you because they haven't been announced yet. But one of the things that is cool is it shows you how there's potential for change. So we could have a cost cap come in and be stricter or be larger throughout the years, so that is interesting to see. And then also from a race perspective, it looks like we also have some rules that could come into play that potentially could throw up some stuff. So you can have pole position bonus point, double points for the last race. Looks like your points allocation could change. Your CFD test limits could get stricter or looser. Same with the wind tunnel testing hours. Yeah, so you see how it goes 56 all the way down to 92. So if you finish in 10th, you're going to have almost double the wind tunnel testing hours as the first place cars. And then also your gearbox, ARS, and engine limits could change as well. So from the finances screen, we're just going to show you just something here. Kind of shows you all the expenses and whatnot. Kind of gives you a little bar graph for kind of how stuff is going throughout the season. But you got your cost cap, which is very, very important. We have $119 million of our cost cap remaining. And our sponsorships. This is something I don't quite understand yet. I don't think we're going to see our sponsorships changing. Can we check and uncheck people? No, we cannot. Yeah, it kind of just shows you the breakdown of how our income comes in. So hopefully we can kind of see where we get these sponsorship values and kind of where things are coming from, because at the moment I'm not quite sure how. So now that I've gone through a bunch of different stuff that probably won't be shown throughout the career mode, I'm just gonna advance through here, and we're gonna have some stuff going on. All right, so we have something in the inbox. We have it's like an introduction from our staff. We have sponsor obligations. That was one of the things I brought up previously. We have a response required, and that is for a party request. It's a season kickoff party. It's $10,000 to improve both the driver and staff morale, and we will do so. And with that out of the way, we are going to move on forward. Our helipad is built. Helipad, that's going to be 1% added to our target payouts and 10 to our team attractiveness, which is good. But it's going to move our monthly income, our monthly upkeep, up to $12,000. But it is fully refurbished, brand new facility. So we're going to move forward here. We're going to probably get another one before the race starts. And as I say that, we have an upgrade completed for the memorabilia room. We have stuff from our preseason testing. It looks as though our I'm still figuring out how to use these menus. Looks, since everything's in red, I'm assuming that stuff came back worse than expected. So that's unfortunate to see. Um, yeah, we're low speed needs to be fixed. Medium speed, all this stuff needs to be. Yeah, we need our low speed, our medium speed, and our top speed fixed. Everything else is great. But yeah, the memorabilia room adds 3 to our team attractiveness. It had 7 previously, and it's gonna add 5 to the morale, and it's gonna increase the monthly upkeep by about $6,000. Man, we're just getting all these upgrades. We got our construction complete for our tour center. We got a construction complete for our boardroom. So, we have our scouting completed for Logan Sargent. It's basic. And then we have our scouting completed for Jack Duhan. Now, one of the things here... Okay, yeah, let's just go through the boardroom real quick. The boardroom adds 5% to our confidence. Adds 5,000 to our monthly upkeep. And our tour center adds $13,000 to our weekly income, but it's going to cost us about $10,000. I'm actually going to go see if I can upgrade this again and how much it's going to be. Okay, that's $237,000, and it's going to increase it by $4,000 a week. Yeah, you got to spend money to make money. So we're going to keep upgrading this until the upgrades get a little too expensive. But we're going to go back and show off the scouting done on Duhan and Sargent. So let's do Duhan first. So Duhan, we don't have any information on his contract, unfortunately. Yeah, it's unfortunate to see that for Duhan. We are going to also look at Mr. Logan Sargent. So Logan Sargent, he's got high growth potential. He's got low aggression. A driver with high aggression will drive closer to competitors and attempt to overtake more often, but driving closely to competitors increases the chance of being involved in a racing incident like a crash. I wonder if there's medium aggression, which seems to be the kind of little temperament, which would be nice. But it's giving it a red indicator, which means it's bad. That's what I'm assuming. And actually, you know what? We're just gonna go propose a contract to Duhan. I know this isn't the best way to go about things, but I think we're just gonna offer him a contract so we can get him in the car immediately. He's already part of the Alpine Academy, so we're gonna propose him a contract. He is going to replace Piastri. We're gonna put him in for 2 seasons. Actually, you know what? We're gonna put him in for 1 season, and we're gonna give him about 220,000, or give him 250,000 salary. Our starting bonus is gonna be, give him 45,000, just so we can show how the proposed contract system works. Because Duhan is the best Alpine Academy driver at the moment, so we're gonna offer him the contract here. It's gonna send the proposal, and we don't have to wait days for this to go through. So we have to go back to the negotiation. We have to add more money to the pot. So back to negotiations. We're going to add 300,000 to the salary, but we're going to leave it 1 season because we could still make a decision to put somebody else in at the end of the year, depending on kind of what's going on. So we're going to offer him that contract. See what he says to that. Still doesn't like the contract, unfortunately. Alright, we're going to go 350. And we're going to go 2 seasons. Alright, and he is accepted. He is 3 less rating than Piastri, but this is how the contract proposal system works in F1 Manager. One of the good things that would have been great to see is kind of what his current contract is. That's something you get with the detailed scouting. So or from my understanding, you get it from the detailed scouting. So that would have been beneficial for finding out maybe what he wanted for salary, because you of course want him to beat kind of what his previous salary was. But we're going to hire him and break Piastri out of his contract. And the cool thing is all the drivers get the race suit, which is cool to see. So we have Duhan in his brand new Alpine suit. So with the signing of Duhan, all these scouting things that we're doing essentially are just kind of placing people out for next year. I think what we could do here, rather than signing people and or scouting people to be our new reserve driver, we should actually just go straight out the gate and kind of show you potentially who we might look for our seat next year at Alpine to be alongside us or alongside Ocon at our team. One of them could be Pierre Gasly. Could maybe even look at Daniel Ricciardo. Vettel is supposed to retire at the end of the year. That's unfortunate, but he's you don't want to. That's an unrealistic move for me, in my opinion, for kind of pulling him out. He might continue on with F1 for another year in this thing, but I'd prefer not to try to hire somebody who's retiring. So we've starred Kevin Magnussen, maybe, or you know what, maybe even let's look at somebody like Alex Albon. Alex Albon's been doing really good. Same for Guan Yu Zhou. Zhou's been doing fantastic. He was very I think everyone was fairly critical of how he got to F1, but when he got there, he was extremely good, and he's been probably one of the best young drivers currently, outside of the the top ones. So looking here, let's go scout Pierre Gasly. Let's do a detailed scout. And then also let's scout Daniel Ricciardo. So we're back with our inbox. We're going to continue onwards. I don't want the signing of Duhan to seem like I don't like Oscar Piastri. I like Piastri. It's just the fact that if I'm going to make the decision not to use him next year, just as kind of like a rule to the playthrough, I'd rather not keep him and put somebody in the car who we can develop and maybe even potentially find themselves in a position to be good enough to put in the F1 seat for next year. So we have the race preparation ready, but we also have welcoming Jack Duhan from the personal officer. I don't know if that's for our team or for Duhan. So he has 2 seasons on contract with us. He's got a monthly salary of $29,000. Yeah, we're going to immediately put him into FP1 sessions, and we might even put him in every single FP1 session this year. So we're going to go to the race screen. We're going to go to our performance targets. This is an interesting little feature here. So they're going to give you this green incentive is I think it's a mandatory one that's assigned to your like as an expectation, but you can also set a qualifying position guarantee. But if you don't reach that, you're going to lose money. So we're going to try to guarantee that we're going to have both drivers qualified top 15. I know that sounds really stupid, but if you look at this, turn that off, we have a potential reward of $218,000. If we turn this on, we have a potential reward of $345,000. We could also add on that we're going to reach Q2, with one driver, and that'll make it even bigger. But I don't want to promise that we're going to reach Q2 because I don't know if we are going to be able to reach Q2 with everyone or with one driver. Because what we did here, or actually what I forgot to do here, is actually set it to 2 drivers. So the potential reward is for $353,000. Now, if they have a finish position, you can't just come in and say, oh, we're going to guarantee another finish position. No, you have to select whatever's left. So I don't think we're going to get fastest lap, so we're going to leave that off the table. They have a finish position streak that we have to have where we have both drivers finish in the top 10 for 5 straight races. We'll get $2.6 million. We could do a qualifying position streak, potentially. So we're going to look here and maybe go for top 15 for 5 races. With let's just go with 2 drivers. That's going to be our guarantee, but we might lose $404,000 for doing that, so I'm actually going to turn that off. But this is an interesting kind of setup here for how this works. It just seems like something that people will try to cheese, but at the end of the day, it's a video game, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, we are, I believe, ready. I'm going to go look at our car parts here. Not development. It's going to go to the warehouse. We have the new suspension. We have 2 copies, so we're going to install the other one on the car too. I knew I was going to forget something. The underfloor is not ready. Got 4 copies. 4 copies. 6 copies of the rear wing. 6 copies of the front wing. Chassis. Engine looks good. Yeah, all this should be good because we've not run yet. So we look like we're ready to go to Azerbaijan. So we're going to move onwards to that. Alright, so we're getting ready for the race weekend. We're going to get ready for practice 1 here. I'm going to try to give a quick overview, because most people play this with the tutorial thing on, where it doesn't actually let you do the first practice session, which I think is really, really unfortunate. I think it's important to at least have just done 1 practice session in the first race, maybe simulate through the rest of them. I actually like doing all 3 practice sessions. I think I like how the practice session, the system works. I think you can kind of skip through it pretty easily, but I also think maybe it's a little bit flat with kind of how it works. It just, you got like see when you do laps and whatever, but I'll get into the nitty gritty of kind of what you need to do or what I've been doing. So we're going to put Duhan in the car. You can select who you're going to put in your car. We're going to put Duhan in for the first practice session. It's going to help him gain experience while Ocon's going to be working on track acclimatization. The same thing is going to apply to Alonso when Alonso gets in the car for FP2 in the next session. It looks really hard to have your track acclimatization hit 100. I did 3 race practice sessions, and so that's 9 whole practice sessions, and I don't think I got the track acclimatization, which carries over to session up to 100. I think I got I did Red Bull. I think I got Max Verstappen at about like 97. That's the highest I went. Setups look pretty easy. Car part knowledge looks pretty self-explanatory. But this is the run plan. So what you can do here, we're going to use Duhan. You got to select your tires that you're going to put on. After you use them in a practice session, they're returned back to Pirelli. So you're not going to be allowed to use them for the rest of the other practice sessions. So you need to make sure that you're not, trying to focus on whatever and, trying to just use 1 set of tires. So we're just going to be focusing on the hard compound. We're going to work through it and just kind of work on getting our setup correct, and give Duhan the most amount of laps possible, including the same for Ocon. But you see here, we got 39 laps available on the tires. Car parts are what we put on it before the race. This is what the setup screen looks like. So we're going to be adjusting this, but you need to do enough laps to where you actually get all 5 comments from the driver, to where you're going to be able to kind of make good quality adjustments to your setup. The run plan, this gets a little bit more in depth when you do qualifying. You can actually set for you to do cooldown laps, which is something I didn't quite understand at first, but after I figured it out is something that's absolutely awesome that they included. So we're going to send them out for 35 laps, which we won't get, to 35 laps, but we'll get close. Driving options, you can set your pace, you can set the fuel usage, and you can set the ERS strategy. But I'm going to move on to practice, and I'm going to show you 1 or 2 things that you need to look out for in the practice session.
Yeah, we can now. Radio check.
Loud and clear.
And green light.
All right, so you heard there's the radios that are really cool to hear. A lot of real-life sound bites included. So you need to send your drivers out, but we've already configured what their run is going to be. So we're going to send out Ocon first. So Ocon's going to head out into the pit lane. And then we are going to send out Duhan. So we're going to select Ocon to focus on. And just going to show kind of, you know, you got these cool camera angles that you can switch between and whatnot. But you see here, now that he's on track, we have this menu that has popped up. And we'll actually do it to 2 times speed just to kind of get this through. Where it kind of shows you what's going on. So you can see the runs. There's going to be a red bar that's going to slowly start going up. That's track acclimatization. And then you have your car parts knowledge. The really important thing here is these practice goals. You need that to hit 5 for you to be able to actually get quality advice from your drivers. So I am going to switch over to this screen, the boring one. But I think this is the most useful for these playthroughs. So we're going to skip through all the way until we get 5 from one of these drivers. But you notice how Ocon has the track acclimatization to 1, and Duhan has plus 30. That is not acclimatization, since he is a reserve driver. He's actually gaining experience, which is very, very, very important for him. I think there's a limit to like 500 or something, but we are going to skip through this practice session, and I'm going to be back once one of these guys hit 5 on their setup.
Do you think you'd benefit from another set?
Really bad.
Yeah, copy that. Do what you need to.
Alright, so we got a radio message from Esteban Ocon. So he's got the 5 out of 5. So we are going to call the car in. Oh,
How's the balance?
we're gonna set it to 1 just to skip
Who's
through.
running wide there?
Oh, and see, this is a cool
Here's
thing.
the replay.
There actually
Now
are
we
wrecks
see
and
Valtteri Bottas.
whatever that can happen during
Going
practice.
wide like
So
that.
that was something I experienced. One of my drivers, when I was managing Red Bull in like my test save,
Was a bitter
had
blow
actually
for the team.
crashed during practice
And it may have
sessions
really hurt
and
their
damaged
overall
wings
chances.
that I had to replace to be able to continue on with the session. So it's very realistic and really cool to see, but you can also see other teams, you know, crash and have these problems as well, not just you. All right, so with Ocon, so Ocon just came in. We're just going to go look at what his setup is. So he's going to have comments on all these different areas, and the blue bars for kind of the range are going to change. They shrunk, so you're going to have a good idea on what to do here. So the cornering is great, so you kind of need to keep it in that area. I think it goes optimal, great, good, bad, from best to worst. So you're going to focus on trying to get this to 100. I've been able to get it to 100 fairly easily on a couple cars. It's just kind of one of those things where you need to tweak with it a lot. And I think after you play this game for a while, it'll be easy to tweak. So we're going to just forward through me fixing on this. And then we're going to do the same for Duhan, who's going to come in about in a little bit as well. Said we were going to fast forward, but a thing to note here, they give you issues and warnings about certain things. So if you look at the tires, we've worn the tires out. They have 31 laps left from I guess the 30 whatever that they had previously. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. So we have to set the fuel, something that the game is going to accept. So these get 31 laps, so we're just going to put 31 in the car, just because. And it's going to take us 4 minutes to do all those setup changes, which is going to carry on in the session. So it's not just a flat time that you're going to have to adjust to. It's actually a big portion of your session where you're going to have to make these changes in. But we're going to do this with Duhan, and then yeah, we're just running laps and tweaking on the setup and working on the acclimatization and the parts knowledge. There's no like special runs that you can do that. It's just sending the car out and kind of choosing what tires you're going to use out of the allocation that you're given for the weekend.
And how was the balance on that lap?
So Duhan's car just got got all the stuff for the balance that we can take in. So we're gonna pull him in. We're gonna keep an eye on Ocon here. We should get one for Ocon pretty soon as well. Where is Duhan? Yep, there's
Any
Ocon.
comments on balance?
Feels good so far.
Okay, understood.
One of the things to note for the setup is you can actually configure your run before you send them out. So you can actually have it configured. You can sit. You can wait for the perfect moment to send somebody out. Maybe let's say in qualifying, and do it that way rather than the typical way of having to wait till the last second and try to remember exactly what you need to do for whatever. You can just have everything ready to go, and yeah, and then you're all good to go to send your driver out. So looking here at our setup, we're all the way up to 81% setup confidence. So we got optimal on the straights, which is fantastic. We are great on the cornering, which is good. I think we're going to do this tweak to the wing, and then we are going to potentially mess with some of the stuff here. And maybe mess with the toe out a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just going to skip through this, and I'll be back with you after.
Copy that. Nice job, mate. So we're back up.
Copy.
Okay, so we finished practice 1. I was thinking I'd have to show you a little bit more with the practice, but I think that's a quick overview. There's not too much to do in the practice other than kind of give your drivers laps. That's very important for just kind of getting your guys ready. It's just kind of choosing what tires to use, kind of what tires you're saving for the race, because if you use too many soft tires, you're going to screw yourself for qualifying. If you use, both sets of hard tires, you're screwed for the race. If you use a set of the mediums, you're going to be constricting yourself with the strategy. So you kind of really need to figure out how to balance it out. Give your guys the laps that they need, but also, not take away from your strategy for the race and also qualifying. So it's a bit of a balance that they have to do in real life, which kind of has bled over to this. But yeah, it's a good system. I think it could be fleshed out maybe a little bit more. But for a starting point for this series, I think it's great. So looking at your results here for practice, we have Verstappen top of the board with a 34 flat. We are all the way down in 13th, which we were on the hard tire the entire practice session. We had a 35.8. You had Duhan doing the FP1 session, gaining experience, and he's got the 36.1. Bottom of the board is the Williams of Latifi and the 19th place driver of Aston. The 19th place driver of Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin. I know how to speak English. Yeah, I don't think there's much to take away from this, and I don't think there's much for me to show in the other two practice sessions, but I will skip through those, and I will join you right before qualifying. I mentioned I was finished showing you stuff before qualifying. I lied. This is some of the things that we gained from the practice session. The setup confidence is at a question mark because we didn't get to finish the run, so that's one thing. But we have these performance bonuses that actually help your driver throughout the race or through the weekend. And if you get all 3 of these perfect, you can get all 15. So that will benefit. I don't even think you need to get them all perfect. I think you need to get some of these up in the 90s to get all the bonuses. But yeah, Duhan as the reserve driver, he's going to get driver development points, which is going to go towards him kind of improving his overall. So we're really shaping Duhan up here to be ready for F1 at some point in the future. All right, so I join you after FP3. We did a three lap fuel run. So we did just enough fuel to kind of do one flying lap, and we actually were able to get Alonso and Ocon top of the board. I don't think that means anything. Hopefully not. I'd like this to be a bit of a challenge, so We're gonna move forward and kind of show you what we got here from the practice programs. So track acclimatization 100% for Ocon. I was talking about it being hard to get to 100%. Got it with Ocon. Got setup confidence at 100 on both cars. Alonso has performance bonuses on he's got 14 out of 15 of the performance bonuses. Same goes for Ocon. See here, just kind of like how much that boost does to these two. So that should be good for them. Heading into qualifying and the race. So we're gonna hit continue here. And looks like we're going to get ready to go into qualifying. So qualifying means that we're going to have to go out on a new set of tires. Now this is what I was talking about with the run plan. So I think it is important, if we're going to do laps, do 3 of them, but we're going to do it on the same set of tire. We're going to do just 2 straight out the gate, and do a cool down lap in between the 2 laps. So they're able to go out, do a flying lap. You know, you do the out lap. As it says here, you do flying lap, you do cool down lap, you do another flying lap, and then you do your in lap on the strategy. So that's a really cool option to have here instead of having to go out then in. You can just fuel up the car for multiple laps and then do these cool down laps. So that's going to be our strategy here. We're going to do that with both cars, but we're going to also probably send them straight back out depending on the situation. But we're going to wait a little bit to send them out in the second part of qualifying, or not second part of qualifying, wait a little bit to send them out in Q1. So we're going to move on to qualifying.
Okay, Esteban, radio check, radio check.
Loud and clear.
And green light.
One of the really cool things in this game is you get, problems that happens to other people's cars that can happen in qualifying or can happen in practice. We didn't have any crashes in practice, but I've had crashes in some of the practice races we've done. It seems like we've got a yellow flag there, so we should get a warning
Sounds
about
like
something.
Someone's locked up. Let's have a look.
Magnussen locked
Now
up, turn
just
15.
focus on the Haas. And there's the lockup. It almost got away from them entirely.
I love when they cut to the team when it's just a little small issue and they're like, oh.
That's going to
There
be
we
a
go.
big blow to the team. Will they be able to recover? We'll see.
All right, so we're going to send out Alonso, then we're going to wait about 15 seconds, and we're going to send out Ocon. I know we're going to send them out into a little bit of traffic. Well, actually, no, Alonso's going to be good. Oh, both cars are going to be good with traffic. All right, so we're going to actually jump on board with Alonso just for 1 lap here, at 2 times speed, so you can kind of see what's going on with him. So we're going to turn on the telemetry, and we are going to go here. So he's going to be warming up his tires for his flying lap. I want to cut this down as much as possible to kind of show you some of the stuff you can do in here. So you can do up to 2 times speed on board, which I think is very important, kind of showing what's going on. So we're going to look here to see what his delta is and what his lap times are looking like. If he sets a purple sector, he's sitting pretty, but no, he's just a 27.3 his first sector. We're going to also keep an eye on Ocon here as well. So both 27.3, we got a 27.4 on Ocon. Wait for Alonso to get that second timing line. I believe it's around here. No, it's all the way down to there. Okay, it's a 41.2. What does Ocon do? It's a 41.4. Okay, so Alonso's going to come across the line. He's going to do a cool down lap, and then he's going to go do another lap, but he goes 4th. Where does Ocon go? Ocon goes into... Why am I missing him? Oh, he goes to 8th. Okay. So we're going to let them do their thing here. So we're going to let Alonso go around, get ready for his next lap. And then we're going to actually just skip through this lap here, because we might have to get ready to send them straight back out and ready to go if we feel like someone's in danger. So Alonso's down his first sector. He's down his second sector. Oh, that's right, because they're in lap. Duh. Okay. I think we waited a little too long to send them out. Oh yeah, Ocon's not sitting good. Yeah, Ocon, I messed it up there with Ocon, so hopefully Ocon doesn't get knocked out here in Q1. He's got 0.4 of a second, but the cars behind him, not super
Nice
worried about.
today.
Alright, let's go 8 times here. Alright, so we got some of the Haas's getting ready to cross the line here. Let's go 2 times speed. Let's see where Mick Schumacher goes. Mick Schumacher stays 16th, so we are comfortably into Q2. So those eliminated in Q1 are Mick Schumacher, Vettel, Stroll, Albon, and Latifi. Alright, so we're going to do the same little 2 flying lap thing just because we have we're going to try to just use 1 set of soft tires for this this round, but if we need to go back out and do it with another set of soft compounds, we should be good to go because we'll have 1 set available for us after we advance to Q3, if we advance to Q3.
Can we do a quick radio check?
Yeah, radio check.
So we have a gap for the 2 cars. We're going to just see where they go. Gonna let them do their first lap. Alonso gets passed by one of the Ferraris. I wish I'd actually left their little relative up, so he's going to be green in all his sectors. Of course he is, because it's going to be first round. So Alonso goes 2nd, and Ocon goes 9th. That's his first lap, so we're going to get a cool down lap here. Actually, we're going to bring in Ocon. But they only do 1 flying lap? I thought I told them to do 2 laps. Okay, so we're gonna send Alonso out straight again on the 1 set here. We're gonna give him just enough for 1 flying lap. No cooldown. And we're going to confirm that, and we're gonna do the same with Ocon when Ocon comes in. But we're going to send them out probably with 4 minutes left, so we're not super worried about the traffic. Yeah, everything looks good there. Okay, so we're going to just scoot forward. We're going to wait till about there's 4 minutes left in the session, and we're going to send them out. Alright, we're going to send Alonso out. And now we're going to send Ocon out. Hopefully we don't start our laps when everyone else is pit-pattering around. So Alonso's going to start his lap. He's going to be up his first sector. I can't see Ocon. Ocon's up, and they both go...
Get some comments when you're plugged back in.
4th and 6th. So hopefully that stands. We're going to look at the times. Ocon's safe by about 0.7 of a second. We need to switch back to this camera. We're going to go at 4 times speed. Who do we need to be worrying about? Okay, Ocon's starting to drop down a little bit here. We'll be worried about Russell. We're 9th. We're 10th. Oh, and we get knocked down. Ocon is knocked out in Q2. Alright, so those eliminated in Q2 are Zhou Guanyu, Esteban Ocon, Lando Norris, Yuki Tsunoda, and Daniel Ricciardo. Alright, so we only have 1 car available to us in Q2. We are going to try to do 2 laps, but we're going to do them straight out the gate. We're going to do a cooldown lap in between. And then we're going to go out again on the soft tires after we do that 2 lap run. We're going to let it pass by about maybe 2 minutes or so. And then we're going to send Alonso out.
Check.
I think it's okay.
Send out Alonso now. So we're going to watch Alonso's lap here when he crosses the line. So we're going to jump on board with him. We're going to do it at 2 times speed. We're going to bring up his delta here. So he might not set a fantastic, great first lap here, but he might be able to set a good second lap. Once he crosses the line, we're going to switch over, but green sector 1, that's 27.3. This will give him a good time here to compare to what he's going to do on his next lap here. 141.2. He is going to cross the line here. Let's see where he places compared to the 5 drivers that's gone out. He's gone 4th. So Alonso should be starting his 2nd flying lap here. So we're going to jump on board with him. Alright, we're going to watch his delta. Let's see what he can do here. Hopefully he gets an improvement in his 1st sector. See a green sector here. Hit a 27.3, so that is improvement. I think it's about a 10th of improvement. Got a little bit to go until we hit the 2nd sector, but it looks like we're going to be tight leaving the pit box here if we decide to go out on a brand new set of tires. All right, middle sector we are down a little bit, so hopefully we have a good strong 3rd sector here. All right, and coming across the line, Alonso is 8th. He is going to stay 8th. All right, we're going to watch him come out here. Hopefully, we're not going to have enough time, are we? Yeah, nope. We have run out of time, so we are going to qualify in 8th position. So we're going to see who gets pole here.
It's a good session all in all, I think. Still learned a lot.
And it is Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc is your pole sitter with a 131.1 over Verstappen, who did a 131.195. So very close battle up there. It looks like it's going to be a 3-man race between these 3. And maybe Sergio Perez can stick his nose up there.
It's time for the final touches here on the grid, ahead of today's race.
We didn't see any unexpected prowess from Alpine during qualifying, but they did well for themselves. Everything's still open to them for the race. McLaren did well during qualifying. They maximized their potential and are in a good position for the race today. And we've got a clear night here beneath a starry sky. If the weather holds steady, we should be in for a spectacular race indeed.
But which team has perfected the strategy that will see them prevail today, here at the Bahrain Grand Prix?
Okay, so we're getting ready for the Bahrain Grand Prix. This is the screen before the race. You just select the strategies. They give you like a little bit of an overview of different strategies that are available to you and what you can do. You can come up with your own strategy. You can do the dumb thing that I'm doing, which is I'm trying to do a 1-stop at a racetrack where you typically don't see a 1-stop. I think if we can make that 1-stop work, especially with kind of where we are in the field, we could find ourselves in a good position maybe later on in the race, and we're just going to do the opposite of our cars here, so we're not having a double stack. So we're going to focus on Alonso early on. We're putting him on the softer compound, and then we're going to have Ocon on the hard tire, hopefully able to stretch, maybe even hold on to his positions there, maybe gain a couple spots off the line, and be able to make that medium tire last to the end of the race. But if we find ourselves in a position to where we can't get this strategy to work, we can either do a stint in the middle on the soft tire, or we can do a stint at the end on the soft tire as well to kind of bridge that gap in between our in our strategy here. But yeah, we are going to move on, or actually I should show you. We've got a couple tires that are available to us that were locked, like this one and this one, that were locked specifically for the race. We saved this set from qualifying, and yeah, your adjustments to your car are locked. Oh, that was the other thing I did. I went in and I actually swapped out our engines because we have the allocation of engines ready, and we shouldn't get a grid penalty for it because we're going to try to use fresh engine for all the races and have like a race engine and a practice engine, because we're going to put way more laps on the other engine stuff in practice and in qualifying and whatnot. So we'll be able to just kind of have this these fresh parts are available for the race when the performance really matters. I could be completely wrong, and that could be really stupid to do, but yeah, fuel wise, we can put in 110 kilograms, which is about 3/10 of a lap short on fuel, which it should be fine. We should be able to save that much. We're gonna go just straight neutral, neutral, neutral. Actually, we could go off the line, use overtake, or what is it called? Actually, we should just use overtake. Yeah, we'll use overtake on both cars straight off the line, and then we'll maybe let that go down to probably about like 60%-ish, so we're not running these guys out of ERS super early on in the race. But yeah, I think that's it for kind of details in this this menu, and we're gonna move on to the race.
It looks like clear weather tonight for this race, with the drivers now just taking position on the grid. Looking at Fernando Alonso here. With a top 10 position on the grid, this race could really go either way for them. Further back, we've got Esteban Ocon. They're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish. Will their hard work pay off today? And this is it, the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go.
All right, so we're gonna focus on Alonso here, or actually we're just gonna go to the TV camera here for Alonso. So we're gonna have these guys on overtake here. We see Ocon's on that inside line. They're all stacked up into the first corner. Alonso in 9th place, Ocon in 13th. They're behind Gasly.
Currently P13 to play for still.
And Gasly's still in touch here. So we're just going to use that overtake just a little bit here on the start, and it looks like we're going to go to we've got an overtake on Ocon here.
Lando Norris.
See if there's anything special, or is it just a up and under? Yeah, it's just an up and under, whatever. Alright, so here's Alonso. Ocon is going to drop all the way back to 13th. He's going to lose that spot. I think we're going to hold overtake just for a tiny bit here, just because we don't want to use up all our ERS super early, and just be in a position where we can't attack later on. We are up on the inside of Gasly, so hopefully we're able to out-drag him here down the straightaway.
Good job.
Alright, now we're up to 8th place. The next reachable car I would consider would be Bottas. So we have the replay for it there. I've seen one crash, so the crashes do happen. They look a little bit weird, but they're still cool that they're there. Had a big crash in practice at Jeddah when I was doing my tests with Red Bull. Alright, I'm going to put the overtake on until the end of the straightaway here, and then I'm going to go on to neutral for Alonso. Alonso can't get by him here. We're just going to let him... We're just going to let him hold neutral. And we're going to keep an eye on Ocon. What's going on with Ocon here? Okay, Ocon is sitting fine in 13th. We're going to have him go on a neutral, and then we're going to wait until the DRS is enabled, and then we'll go on overtake. So now that we've got the first lap out of the way,
DRS enabled.
all right, so we are behind. We're going to have DRS available here. All right, is Alonso going to be in DRS range? Alright, looks like Alonso's going to be in DRS range, so we are going to go on to overtake. We're going to do the same for
Overtake available.
Ocon.
Okay.
So he's just outside of a second of Hamilton or Russell. So hold that gap and make it to the next DRS zone. I'm going to try not to hang around in this camera view too often. Actually, we're going to go into 2 times speed because we can. So he's down all the way into about 0.3 of a second. He's got the DRS on Russell. Looks like Hamilton's looking to pass Bottas. We're getting the inside of Russell, but we're going to be shut out there. Looks like we're going to go on to neutral here just for a little bit. Ocon, in 13th place. We're going to have him go on neutral as well. Yeah, we're too far back from Norris, so we're going to get overtaken here pretty easily. We're going to focus on Alonso. I don't like how we have to manually efficiently use our DRS. I wish there was a way to automate your DRS, because it's hard to kind of automate two people during a race when you're using 2x speed. But you see there that Alonso gets passed by Gasly. It's unfortunate to see.
That's a position gained for AlphaTauri.
All right, so we are going to go on to overtake for Alonso. He's looking on the inside. Is he going to get there? He gets underneath, and he's going to take the position. All right, so we're going to have him go on defend or deploy just so he can get away. Actually, we're going to have him go into neutral so he's not burning up all his ERS. He's too far back from Russell. All right, so we're gonna let them hold neutral here, and we are gonna go look at the overhead camera, and we're gonna do it at about 8 times or 16 times speed. So I don't want this episode to be like 40 hours long. It seems like we're in a bit of a DRS train. It's just like Alonso and Gasly are just gonna catch each other on the speed and just kind of slingshot each other for multiple laps. So I don't think it's worth it to try to keep trying to pass him if we're going to be stuck in a bit of a DRS back and forth. We got Ocon down in 15th, unfortunately. Ocon needs to go long here. Alonso's holding good where he needs to be. We need Bottas to actually get displaced by Russell, but he's also kind of tagging along with Russell there. Oh, Russell actually goes wide. So we're going to jump back on board with Alonso here.
That's the lockup.
Yeah, we can actually watch to see what happened to Russell there.
Now, just watch the Mercedes here. Well, they've lost
Goes
it.
in the corner,
They've locked up.
locks it up, stops on the racetrack. All right, so we're going to have DRS here. I think it's a good time for him to harvest. So we're going to look at where Ocon is. It seems like he's in a bit of a DRS train, so we're going to let him harvest as well. So we get the message about us having a full battery. So it looks like Perez is by himself. Interesting to see if Perez can actually pull away from Bottas and Hamilton if they're slingshotting each other. Alright, so we have a fully charged ERS. So we're going to go neutral and neutral. And we're going to go on board with... Actually, we're not even going to go on board with... We're going to actually look at the tires on Alonso. So Alonso's...
Recharge off.
Wow, is everyone on soft tires?
Copy.
Why is everyone on soft tires? Wow, okay. I feel a lot better about our position currently then. At least with Alonso. Alright, where's Alonso at on track? So we're going to use... Alright, so we're going to jump on board with him. We're going to go overtake, but we're going to wait until it's the next straightaway. So hopefully we can pass the AlphaTauri. And we're gonna go DRS or overtake. Sorry. All right, so we're neutral on Ocon.
Overtake available. Copy.
Just hold neutral here for a minute. Alright, so this seems like a good opportunity for us to overtake here because we're going to have the AlphaTauri out of DRS range and we really need to hold up with these guys here. So we're going to go deploy actually because that's the fastest way to get around the track. They're actually going to pit, so we're going to go on to harvest. Go into neutral. Okay. So Alonso stays out. So much to digest here. Alright, we got a yellow flag, sector 2. What was that for?
Sounds like we've had a spin.
Alright, so Sonoda spun.
Let's
We
take
can watch
a
that
closer
replay.
look. Now let's look at this. The focus on Sonoda. And that spin is undoubtedly going to cost them time.
Alright, so we're going to have a bunch of people pitting here. I mean, how far is Alonso back from... He's about 2 seconds back, dang it. We're going to just let him conserve here, actually. Just because he doesn't need to do anything crazy. We had another yellow flag there as well. Interesting to see what that was for. It was just Albon having a lockup. Okay. So where is Ocon? Ocon is currently in 5th. Okay, we're going to jump on board with Ocon because Ocon needs to go on deploy. Yeah, we'll put him on deploy just so he can get... Actually, we'll put him on overtake because if he holds the DRS with Perez, that would be big.
Red Bull gained a place.
Okay, he's going to have DRS there. We're going to have him put on deploy. He's going to hang in the DRS. Yes, he is. Okay, we're going to hold this for as long as we can. Alright, now we're going to go neutral. Even harvest. We're going to go overtake. Alright. So we can hang with the Red Bull here. Get the DRS again. I'm even going to try to overtake him here. Alright, we're going to go neutral. Alright, we have the DRS zone, so we're just going to not use overtake unless we actually need it. Looks like, okay, we're going to use overtake coming up soon. Alright, we're going to go neutral. We're going to go overtake because that's going to get us closer to him. And neutral. Alright, coming out of this little hairpin here, we're going to go on to overtake again. So we can hold that DRS. That's so powerful here. It's going to gain us a bunch of time. We got a problem in sector 2. What was that for? Oh, we're going to actually overtake somebody. So we're going to have him conserve now. Because we need Perez to get by him.
From Alpine. Red Bull moved up.
Alright, so we need to hang within that 1 second here with Ocon. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. Alright, we got the DRS. We got another yellow flag, sector 2.
Oh, big lock up there.
This is actually caught up Ocon with Alonso. That's actually insane. We're gonna actually have him go on neutral because we don't even want him to pass Perez. I mean, we just need him to hold the DRS train. Actually, we do need him to hold overtake because he's gonna lose. Alright, we need Alonso to...
Recharge on, please. Recharge on. Copy. No more DRS. Copy.
Whoops. Alright, we're gonna put him on harvest. And we're gonna let him go on deploy.
Okay, it's recharge on. Copy that.
Overtake is available.
Okay, copy.
Stupidest strat I've ever done in my life. Alright, we need Ocon to get within a second of Perez because he's going to gain all that time down the straightaway. Oh, he's going to lose it, is he? Come on, Esteban. Come on, dude. Alright, we're going to hold neutral here because looks like we're in the DRS zone. Yeah, the DRS is just so crazy powerful in this. This is actually kind of ridiculous. Alright, we have Alonso right behind, so it looks like we're going to be able to go on to Harvest on the straightaway. He's still on overtake. Is that going to be Alonso coming on the outside? Come on, dude.
Let's go recharge on, please. Recharge on. Copy that.
Let Alonso overtake. We're going to go on board with Alonso. Alright, we're going to let him harvest as well.
Let's go recharge on.
Okay, copy.
We're going to actually let both of these guys go light on their tires.
Okay, we'd like you to slow down, please. Copy that.
I realize I'm spending so much time on these last couple laps, but I feel like this is going to be worth so much time. We can pull Ocon with us. Okay, it looks like we're going to go neutral now. Alright, we're going to pause here. Got a caution. Looks like it was Hamilton. Alright, we're going to go 2 here.
We've just had a spin.
Overtake. Hamilton
Let's take
spun.
a look at the replay. Now watch this. Lewis Hamilton involved in this one.
Like the same instance,
0-0
like
there.
part of the corner where they
car's
actually
gone.
spin. Need him to catch up quickly. Oh, looks like Ocon is actually disconnected, so we're going to have him go on neutral here. And we're going to let him conserve his tires. Looks like Bottas is 9 seconds behind him. Okay. We need Alonso to hold on to this. So we're going to let him go on to overtake here for this lap. Even through this section here. I think this might be the last lap where we're going to get it. Alright. I need him almost to pass him. Alright, so he is there, so we're going to have him harvest because he's going to be super, super close. Oh no, he's going to lose a whole bunch of time there. Oh, please don't fall out of the range. No. Oh, dang it. Did we lose it? Yep, we lost it. Okay. So that's the end of the DRS trains. I feel like that gained me a whole bunch of time there. I could be 3,000,000% wrong with what I just said. Alright, so what lap was I supposed to pit? Oh. Like I missed the lap I was supposed to pit Alonso, but we're actually been saving his tires, so we're going to be able to do a one-stop here. So we're just going to watch what Alonso does here.
Seems to have been a lockup.
I actually think, you know, we're actually just going to pit Alonso onto the We're going to pit him onto the hard tires. Now. But I don't think we're going to have to do much tire management here. We're having him harvest, but hopefully I wish I could mess with that a little bit before I did all that. So we're in the train now, but hopefully we have a bunch of people around us that are going to have to pit in these next couple laps. So we're going to go neutral. Got a yellow flag in sector 2. Don't know what that was for.
That sounds like someone's gone wide there.
Hamilton ran wide again, so he's having a hell of a race. But he's still ahead of Russell, so that's all that matters to him. Yeah, it looks like we're sitting okay with our tires here. Okay, so we just got the optimal lap. Nope. We are going to stretch this long.
I think there's been a lockup.
Sonoda just locked up. Yeah, so lap 30 is the optimal lap. That's the lap I set. But we're going to let this go maybe about 2 or so laps more before we pit onto the soft tire. Or the medium tire, sorry. We're actually going to let him go standard, and then we're going to have him
position gained for Alfa Romeo.
pit this lap onto the... No. On to the medium. So Ocon comes down. We're going to see what he's going to be able to do here coming out of the pits. He's going to be way behind Alonso. Gonna look at the driver strategy here. I think we have some tires to our advantage here to use against Gasly for Alonso, but we're in this absolute crazy DRS train. But I don't think we're going to be able to do anything to get around that outside of conserving our ERS and then having enough for, you know, when it matters. I think we're going to just go push, and then we're going to let him go aggressive. And hopefully he can gain all these positions. And maybe even let him go on to overtake for a lap or something. Kind of see what he can do here. And we're going to let him deploy just to kind of get away from people. So we're going to have him deploy to see if he can get out of the DRS zone. And it looks like he's already almost out of DRS as well. I mean, we're fast down the straightaway, but I don't think we're going to be able to hold off this train here. We need to, like, conserve and stay out front. And not let Joe pass us. Alright, we're going to just defend again.
That's a good overtake from Alpine.
We're going to actually just let him harvest here and hopefully not lose too many positions.
Alfa Romeo just moved up a place.
So hopefully he can stay in line with the DRS. And this might be his opportunity actually going into turn 1. Gain a bunch of this up here. Hopefully not lose it heading into this next corner to Magnussen. Alright, and then exiting this corner, we're going to go deploy. And we're going to let him push like hell. Alright, where's the gap? Where's the gap? 5 tenths. 7 tenths. 8 tenths. We're going to lose it. Second. 9 tenths. Alright, we got to gain it back through this section. Don't think we're going to make it. Oh, come on. Did we lose him? Oh, we might have lost him before the DRS detection, so we're going to have him go on to neutral. And then we're going to have him go on to balance, and then we're going to let him push still. So AlphaTauri is gonna be the closest one to us. Gasly,
Hold on,
Gasly's.
spun out.
Yeah, we're gonna
Let's
watch
see
Stroll
what
spin.
happened there. Now let's have a look. It's Lance Stroll.
Yep,
And
same
this-
spot as Hamilton.
Yes, this is where they spun out.
Thankfully, enough runoff there to where you're not hitting walls and such. Looks like we're catching Russell here. So hopefully we can catch Russell and we can actually pass him and maybe even slingshot him here. So we're just letting him push. Well, maybe a little too much, actually. We're going to have him actually go on a standard. We're going to actually just watch it from overhead as we see Perez and Hamilton are actually pitting. Ocon's just been by himself this entire time, just chilling. So we're in 7th and 11th. I'm expecting the people ahead of us to pit here. So we have Alonso getting by Russell, but he's going to get him straight back on the straightaway. Got a caution in Sector 2. It seems like we're going to get an explanation of what that was in a second.
We've had a car run wide.
And Hamilton's just having a day, isn't he?
Mercedes moved up a place.
We're going to go actually harvest with... Oh, we've been harvesting with Ocon this entire time? That's not good. So we need to get out ahead. We're actually going to just let him deploy for a minute. For a lap or so. Just try to build that gap. Let him gap all the cars ahead of him. So Alonso holding steady there. We're going to let Ocon use his deployment. Alright, now we're going to go on neutral. Looks like we're 1.6 to the good here. We got 13 laps remaining. We're going to push again. I know it says it's like red for the amount of kilograms we have left. But I'm going to risk it here because that engine mode is so important to our race.
Sounds like someone's locked up.
So we've got Albon sticking to the rear bumper of Alonso. Looks like Albon's got like fresh tires or something. But we're going to burn up our fuel here, which is good because hopefully we can have Russell gap Gasly and Magnussen here. Yeah, Bottas coming hard. I don't think we're going to be able to hold off Bottas. Especially if Bottas gets the, yeah, he's coming so quickly, it's going to be quite hard for us to keep him from coming. We're going to go and conserve with Alonso just because those tires are starting to get pretty worn. Ocon is in 8th, and he's got Russell, who just started catching him.
Looks like that was a position gained for Alfa Romeo.
And Bottas has moved by Alonso, but hopefully we can use the DRS from him to kind of continue to move forward. Because if we keep swapping with him smartly, we might be able to pip him and Hamilton at the line here if we use some strategical DRS management. So we're getting pretty worn on the tires for Alonso. Okay, so this is where Ocon's race gets spicy. So we're going to go on board with Ocon. I know Alonso's position is kind of screwed because he's only got 30% tires, but he is so far ahead. I don't think he's going to drop back to Russell, so he should be in 7th pretty easily. But we're going to jump on board with Russell here because it seems like Russell's going to need, or not Russell.
Need out for tires now. box.
Alright, Gasly is...
Okay, understood. So what do you want? Would you want box?
Alright, we're gonna see how hard it is to hang with Russell, so we're gonna go on overtake here.
You've got energy to push. Copy.
So we're gonna have the DRS, we're gonna try to hold steady with him. Go neutral.
It's a race position gained for Mercedes.
Alright, so Hamilton overtakes Alonso, that's unfortunate. Better his tires at 44%, so we're about equal footing-ish with our wear. But we're only going to use overtake with...
3 laps to go.
We're only going to use overtake with Ocon if we need to stay in touch with Russell. And then we'll use it on that final straightaway if we need to on the final lap. Yeah, we're going to put Alonso on overtake just to hopefully have him catch up to Hamilton, but it doesn't look like he's going to, so we're just going to put him back on neutral. So Ocon, we're on board with him still. He's neutral. Looks like he's actually going to have a shot to get by Russell here. So we're going to harvest to get him back past us. Actually, you know what? We're gonna defend with our stuff here. We gotta make sure that we're able to defend against him here, but he's gonna be so close. So we need to defend. We need to defend. All right, now that he's by, we need to go on to deploy.
I lost quite a lot of grip on that lap.
I saw it's 57. Oh, it's 57 for the leaders. Okay.
Copy.
So we're gonna go harvest. We're gonna hopefully have
What
him
do we
blow
do?
by us here. Where's Alonso? Alonso's far enough ahead where I'm not gonna be worried about him. So we're gonna look back at Ocon here. Sorry. Let's see what happens here. So we're gonna get the doors blown off of us. Alright, we're gonna pause. We're gonna go on to overtake. We're gonna go on board with him here. Hopefully hang with him. I thought we were, oh, no.
Mercedes moved up a place.
Alright, so we need to go... we're gonna maintain overtake here. Deploy. Good exits, come on, good exits, come on.
That's Leclerc. Charles Leclerc.
Alright, so Leclerc wins the race. We're gonna go on to overtake here. Oh, come on.
Copy that.
Oh, he's slow. Please, come on. Go for it. No. Come on, gotta get him here, please. I don't think he's gonna get him, but keep your fingers crossed. Oh, come on, man. No. We messed it up there at the end.
DRS disabled. DRS disabled.
Copy.
7th and 9th. That's not too bad. Can't be too upset with that.
Check flow.
Yeah. So what are they today?
You managed to race very well. Okay, and that is the checkered flag.
Good job. That is hard work paying off there, right there.
All in all, Fernando Alonso had a good race here today. This wasn't bad at all from Alpine. Now the question is, how can they make it better next time?
Yes, this was a contrasted performance, but there were some good moments. There is promise here of great things down the line.
The end this weekend in 5th place in the constructor standings.
The teams now look ahead to the next round, where they'll duel it out in the sand dunes of Saudi Arabia.
Alright, so your Bahrain Grand Prix was won by Leclerc. You got Sainz in 2nd place, Verstappen 3rd, Perez 4th. Bottas did a really good job to finish 5th ahead of both Mercedes. We finished ahead of one of the Mercedes with Alonso, and we almost got by Russell. I wasn't really paying attention. I saw that we were on 57 to 57. I thought we were coming to the line, so I was pushing really hard there with Ocon, so I think we potentially gave up 2 points there, because if we were able to stay harvesting behind, or stay and harvest while we were ahead of Russell, I think we would have been in a better position on that final lap with the amount of overtake we would have been using, and then we would have also been closer. So yeah, so that is good for us. Getting a double points day is always good. From the driver's standings, we are 7th and 9th. You know, it's the same as the finish of the race, but constructors wise, you got Ferrari on top, Red Bull, Mercedes, Alfa Romeo, and then you have us in 5th, and then you have AlphaTauri in 6th, and then you have the 4 of the other constructors with no points. Yes, you see we have practice growth here for Jack Doohan, so that's going to be good for him. I'm going to see what I can do after this, and then I think that'll be the end of the episode there. So this is the financial report. We didn't have any bonuses or really any major expenses, so we just got the straight $4.3 million in. Right, so we have our team hub constructed. We'll do a quick update, tell you what that did there. We've got up and coming driver for Zach O'Sullivan, who is Irish. Would have guessed with an O'Sullivan, would have been Irish. We have our team hub construction completed. Means we get 20% weekly experience gain, I think for everybody. 2 morale, 15 team attractiveness, and our upkeep goes up $63,000 a month. Post-race overview, nothing really to add there. We watched that race, and the board watched the race, and they were disappointed that the team performed below expectation. I disagree. I thought that was a very good first race for us. Just disappointing we didn't finish 7th and 8th, but that was a good episode. We're going to look at Jack Doohan here, see if we have anything that we can add. We don't have any developmental points for him. So I believe that's going to be the end of the first episode. Yeah, this game is amazing. It's something that we've all dreamed about ever since Motorsport Manager came out, just having one of these motorsport management games where it was officially licensed, and we would have, all the different teams and drivers and F3 and F2, and we finally have it. It's a game that's, the first try, so there's going to be bits and pieces of it that we're going to learn and maybe hate later that, next time around are going to be fixed, or, stuff like that. So I'm glad that this game is kind of finally came out after such a long overdue time since Motorsport Manager for PC first originally came out. So if you enjoyed this episode, like, comment, subscribe, all that dumb YouTube stuff, and I hope you have a good rest of your week.